आपको विघन ना को लागे जाकी प्रभ आगे अरदास दसां पातशाहियां दी आत्मक जोत कलयुग के बोहित नाम के जहाज हलत पलत की रक्षा करने वाले धन 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 साहिब श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी महाराज आपने अपार बख्शिश करके पातशाह अपनी संगत ਨੂੰ ਸਾਈਬਰ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਤੇ ਇਕੱਤਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਆਪ ਆਪਣੀ ਹੁਕਮ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਆਗਿਆ ਬਖਸ਼ੋ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੇਧ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੇਰਣਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਜੋ ਜੀ ਆਵੇ ਸੋ ਰਾਜੀ ਜਾਏ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਭਾਣੇ ਸਰਬਤ ਕਾ ਭਲਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Ji Anul, I welcome all of you to this session of Gurbani Vichaar. We have been doing Gurbani Vichaar for nearly, I think, 5 weeks or 6 weeks now, and we have covered different aspects of Japji Sahib. We have started with Mool Mantar. We have covered the first Pauri where the main question is raised, Kiv se chara hui hai, kiv kude tutte paal. And we have almost covered the second Pauri, which explains what hukam is. And we have discussed about hukmi hovana ka aur hukam na kiya jai. The whole Pauri has been covered. So today we are planning to discuss the last line of this Pauri, Nanak hukme je bujhe ta haumai kahe na koi. Now this Japji Sahib itself is a very difficult Bani to understand, very deep philosophical meaning, and this forum has spent long hours in discussing, dissecting every word and understanding it from different perspectives. Today we will focus on hukam and haumai, and I think the crucial thing here is even the word bujhe. Nanak hukam je bujhe ta haumai kaina. So I think while it's important to understand what hukam is, important to understand what haumai is, I think there is a crucial link between the two, and that is bujhe. Kinj bujna hai, ki bujna. So for this very important understanding, we will go around the table, and I would like to start with Ravel Singh ji. Ravel Singh ji, and we'll follow a simple rule which has been always said on this forum. Generally try to be very quick and sharp and focused in your observations. Preferably do not exceed 2 to 3 minutes, and I think we will follow that rule today. We will also follow one more rule. Whatever we say or discuss, we should have Gurbani to back it up in case somebody has a doubt, and I seek your forgiveness. I'm one person who always looks what is the Guru trying to tell us rather than how me or my other experiences are. So whatever we discuss today, please either if you remember Gurbani, say this is what the Guru is guiding. If you don't remember right instantaneously, you should be able to tell us that okay, probably this is what the line is and this is what Guru is trying to say. That's your understanding. So we know categorically what is being shared on the forum. Ravel Singh ji, I would like to start with you.
हाँ जी, वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह। इस लास्ट लाइन च तीन चीज़ां कहियां हैगियां ने। नानक हुक्मे हुक्म जे बुझे तां होमे कहे न कोई। हुक्म नूं बुझना और होमे। ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਕਮ डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, लेकिन हुक्म है कि हुक्म is by which we are to act in life. That is our direction, that is the order, that is the line that we have to follow in life. एक चीज़ और भी सोचनी है कि there is no person, there is no authority, or there is no king or officer or boss sitting there who is giving these orders. So it has to be understood that it is a part of the total system of which we are a part, that this hukum has to be followed. So what is hukum? to put in straightforward terms what Guru Sahib says is कि उहाँ हुक्म तुम्हारा सुनिए इहाँ हरतस तेरा पढ़िए तो हुक्म वो चीज़ है जिहड़ी उहाँ देर जिहड़ी कि अकाल पुरख ने आत्मा नूं that is the creator gave it to the soul to perform after taking birth इसके वास्ते जिहड़ी चीज़ां हैगियां ना there are number of things that we talk about in this गुरबाणी बात भी सानू करांदी है कि आयो सुन पढ़ को बानी नाम बेसार लगे अन लालच बिरथा जन्म पुरानी तो ये चीज़ दसदी है कि ये नाम बेसार लगे ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਕਮ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਾਮ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਸਾਫ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਉਹ ਨਾਮ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੈ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਦੀਆ ਬੁਝਾਈ ਜਿਓ ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾਮ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੈ ਹੁਕਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਨਾਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੈ तो ये जी चीज़ असी अपने मन च थोड़ा क्लीयर कर लीए दैट इट इज़ हुक्म इज़ जिहड़ा अकाल पुरख ने सानू दिता है दैट इज जिसलिए कहते कि असी सिमरन करना है याद करना है तो दैट इज़ टू बी केप्ट इन माइंड एंड इट इज़ नॉट टू बी वायलेटेड तो नानक हुक्म जे बुझे तो होमे कह नको then no the person will not go by home so what is home consists of two parts home and मैं what's up means me I mine so once that happens that means we are the Guru Sahib is referring or Gurbani is referring to a situation where one works by thinks I am important I know what it is and गुरबाणी कहती है तू जिस तरह से सोचेगा इस वक्त ना कि हम करेंगे हम मूर्ख गवार फिर तेरे वर्गा मूर्ख कोई नहीं so that is to be understood I think since you give me 2-3 minutes that should be enough and we can carry on from here.
Thank you, Ravel Singh ji. Ravel Singh ji he has given us a meaning of this first line, this last line in totality, and then he has spent a minute in explaining what home is. Home is a composed word of ho and man. Let's go further and let's go to I.J. Singh. I.J. Singh ji, would you like to elaborate more on this? Preferably, let's focus on home in the first round. Then we will go to hukam in the second round. And in the third round, we'll try to understand what is this bujhe. How do we achieve that status jithe asi bujh liye? So I.J. Singh ji, would you like to, let's focus on home. Would you like to tell us or share something of home with us?
Very, very briefly, I will. ਅਸੀਂ translation ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਹਉਮੈ ਦੀ normally we translate it as the word as ego and I think that's an inexact translation. If you look at the psychological literature is full of references to ego and the many levels thereof, the self. So partly it is, I think ego is a mistranslation. Haumai is more akin to where your life is run by I, me and mine. Sardar Ravel Singh, I think, indicated that. I, me and mine. Self-aggrandizement. That nothing is outside the self. तो ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹਉਮੈ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਉਮੈ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੱਢ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕੱਢਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਹਉਮੈ ਦੀ ਰਗ ਰੋਗ ਹੈ ਦਾਰੂ ਵੀ ਇਸਮਾਏ the treatment lies within because the other element which is the self ਉਹ self ਨੂੰ efface ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ self ਨੂੰ develop ਕਰਨਾ sense of self so we need to separate the two items the realization of the sense of self that's different and the banishment and exile of I, me and mine. That is different. The best translation for haumai that I can see in English would be, from the literature, would be narcissism. Narcissism is that I am the end of things. I am, that's it. There's nothing outside of me. And narcissism would be that, but I'm not quite certain how precise or accurate would that be. It certainly is not what we have used. We have used ego, which comes from the psychological literature and means something different. And let me take a break, come back into the circle again after a fuller discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay Singh ji. I have also been thinking, what is haumai? Is it self-esteem? Is it, as you put it, and as Ravel Singh ji put it, is I, me, and mine? Is it so much of self-concentration? So I think you have put it very well that haumai has to be really analyzed. Is it how is it different? Probably the word which you are using, that's probably the right word. But let's go deeper into it and see what Guru is trying to say when Guru is saying Home Dira Grog hai Daru bhi ismai. Let's go over to our friend. I do not know your name, Virji. You are from Amritsar. Would you like to share your thoughts now? On my screen, you are the next in the queue. So would you like to share your thoughts?
Haji, are you addressing me?
Yes, I'm
Are you
addressing you.
addressing me? Haji?
Yes, yes.
Yes, my name is Gurdeep Singh.
Not you, Charan Singh Virji. I'm addressing,
Haji,
you are from Canada, I know. I'm addressing Virji, who's from Amritsar.
Haji, my name is Gurdeep Singh.
Haji, Gurdeep Singh ji, I'm addressing you.
Yes, thank you. See, as far as home is concerned, ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੀਵ ਦੀ ਹੋਮੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਵਰਤ ਵਰਤਾਰੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਜ ਦਰਸਾਇਆ ਹੈ। ਹੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਇਆ, ਹੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਿਆ, ਹੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੰਮਿਆ, ਹੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁਆ, ਹੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਹੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਆ। ਇਹ ਪੂਰੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਹੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੱਟਿਆ, ਹੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਿਆ, ਹੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੁਚਿਆਰ ਕੁੜਿਆਰ, ਹੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਪ ਪੁੰਨ ਵਿਚਾਰ, ਹੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਰਕ ਸੁਰਗ ਅਵਤਾਰ। ਭਾਵ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਮਾਇਆ ਦੇ ਭਰਮ ਭੁਲਾਵੇ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਮੇ ਦੇ ਭਰਮ ਭੁਲਾਵੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਦੇ ਅਹਿਸਾਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿਚਰ ਰਿਹਾ। ਸੋ ਹਉਮੈ, if we have to define it according to this, is I mean ਆਪਣੀ ਅਡਰੀ ਹਸਤੀ ਦਾ ਅਹਿਸਾਸ। when we consider ourselves different from this supreme power, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੈਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਦੀ ਪੂਰਤੀ ਤੇ ਵਿਖਾਵੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਬ੍ਰਿਤੀ ਜਾਂ ਚੇਤਨਤਾ, that is egoistic consciousness, that is called home to my mind. And this all the negative emotions that are coming from this home itself. So to find an English equivalent for home is very difficult. And if we have to describe its I mean face or its shape, home, what is the shape of home around us, these are all the negative emotions. That means काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, अहंकार। तो केवल अहंकार हमें नहीं है, काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, all the negative emotions are part of the home. And that egoistic consciousness, when we consider ourselves to be away from God, different from God, then only this memory comes. So that is what, to my mind, is the definition of home.
Gurdeep Singh ji, thank you so much. You have added one more dimension which I had never thought or heard of, and seems very interesting, that home is a collection of all the other negative forces, as you say, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, and Moh. I don't know, would you remember a Gurbani line which says that? Of course, we have just, Ajay Singh ji brought to us this line which says, Home Dira Grog hai. But is there a line which says that Home engulfs or Home is a collection of all these things? Or that's how you interpret it?
No. See, this when we say that the life is progressing, or the human race is progressing because of home only, and that because we want to say that our family will carry our name forward. That is the egoistic tendency. And that comes from this emotions only, and these emotions ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ Krishna ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ that gives birth to this calm and love, ਔਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜੋ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮੋਹ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਧਾਰਨ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀਆਂ 'ਚ ਜੋ ਰੁਕਾਵਟ ਪਾਏ ਉਸ ਉੱਤੇ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਜੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੂਰਤੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਹਾਈ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੋਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, तो दुनियावी प्राप्तियां इंसान ਨੂੰ ਹੰਕਾਰੀ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦੀਆਂ। तो ये सारा कुछ ही हौमे दा ही। Pardon?
Add, if I may interrupt you, may I add one sentence in clarification? This is IJ Singh.
IJ Singh ji, please go ahead.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਉਮੈ ਦੀ ਰੋਗ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹਉਮੈ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, what that tells me is that all the other ਕਾਮ, ਕ੍ਰੋਧ, ਲੋਭ, ਮੋਹ, ਹੰਕਾਰ arise from or products of haumai. Haumai dhira roga is why because that is the primary evil, uncontrolled, when uncontrolled. It's a primary evil, and all the others arise from it.
Yes. All. So let's go.
And the Gurbani's Pankti, which describes this, is dehi andar panch chor vasai, काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, हंकारा, अमृत लूटे, मनमुख नहीं बूझे, कोई न सुने पुकारा. So these are all the negative emotions which are getting generated from haumai itself.
I would like to, I thank you Gurdeep Singh ji, but I would like to really mention that Gurdeep Singh ji has just quoted a line from Gurbani, and which brings in a new word, hankar. And when we do the second round, we will ask the learned participants, what do they think? Is hankar and haumai the same thing? Or is hankar a separate thing and haumai is a collection of all these things? We will come back. But let me now continue with this thread of discussion, and let me go over to our Virji from Canada. I think Virji ne ardas kiti, and I think his name is Charan Singh.
I while hearing to Ajay Singh ji and Gurdeep ji, I think the line, the Pankti which comes to my mind was Jin Rach Rachya Purkh Bidate Nale Haumai Pai. I certainly agree with, it's a collection of everything with both of the speakers. It's a collection of everything. Everything is integrated and intermingled and originates in the haumai itself as a broader term. My way of looking at the Gurbani is little experimental. I have used the phonetics of English to resonate the word haumai, and it partly reflects on how me, pretty much what other speakers are saying, but it is an inquiring word, how me originates. It links to that. Meri haumai upajdi kitho hai? That's the prime question to unfold the mystery of haumai. The suggested answer is that somebody told me that my name is Charan, somebody told me I am a human in the form and a Sikh or a male, or all these things have been told to me by the external, using the language as a tool. So in Gurbani, this external Bani, Antar Bahar Teri Bani, outside Bani is equally important than inside Bani. And my haumai, the flagship, the name has originated from the external Bani, where I have got a recognition and identity, which is my language-driven identity. And that's all I have to say about haumai.
Sure, thank you. Means I thought, and we will get it clarified in the next round, not now. I thought IJ Singh mentioned that haumai is the root from everything else sprouts, and Gurdeep Singh ji mentioned that haumai is a collection of all those things. To me, these are two distinct things. But we will come in the second round, and when both the speakers get a chance, I would like IJ Singh and Gurdeep Singh ji to clarify further. I do not know the name of the next person on my screen. It is not Gabri ji, it is another gentleman. Can I request you to come in now, Virji? And please introduce, I don't know your name.
दिलप्रीत जी
जी, आर यू रेफरिंग टू मी?
Yes, I'm referring to you.
हाँ जी, मेरा नाम हैगा जी दिलप्रीत।
All right, Dilpreet Singh ji, can you share your thoughts?
हाँ जी, the way I look at haumai is it's made up of two words, how and मैं, and both means मैं. So it is मैं comes twice in it. And the way I personally see it, what Guru Nanak is trying to tell us is that one मैं is good and it is desirable and something we should have it. Without that one मैं, we are dead person or we are directionless. But as long as this one मैं is in line with the greater existence of the creator and it is in line with that, then only it is good. But if we are disconnected, if we use both mass for ourselves and we say that I am and I am the only one, there is nothing outside of me, that is where it is the problem. So as long as it is in line with the creator and we play a role, that is why it is tied to the hukam and bujhe. We will commit to the next round. But when it says home dirag rog hai daru vi mahe, so Guru Nanak is changing that our man should work in conjunction with the creator or the creation. So Guru Nanak is saying that both Mahome is right and it is good when it is in line with the creator.
I thank you, Dilpreet Singh ji, and I'm very, very excited to introduce Gabri ji at this stage. Me and Gabri ji have had a discussion of about 10 hours on what home is. And Gabri ji, I would request you to kindly bring in that concept which you had used to explain to me, that home is attached to the body and man to the man, and that is how when they synchronize they create havoc, and how they have to be made, how there has to be a distinction to move away from it, and why Guru says that within this there is the medicine sitting right in between, the trick which you had guided me. Gabriji, I would request you to kindly introduce this in next 2-3 minutes.
It's too short a time, but let me introduce. Everybody has said so very well. Let me add few things into that. Home kitho upje, kit sanjam mein jaye. So this was the question even been discussed. So Guru Sahib कहते ना home rog mano ko dina. So this is basically we've been planted with this how te main, because Guru Sahib कहते हैं त्रै गुण बद्धी देहरी जो आया जग सो खेल. So within three gunas, this is one of the gunas. So our conscious, our mind is attached with the body. How much when the Guru said how much आया, so Guru Sahib basically said that this body has come into this world, but man is being attached to the body. So we become to the body, mind become to the body conscious. So Guru Sahib said हमें कितना उपजे किस संजम में जाए. So when Guru Sahib said हमें तीरग रोग है दारू भी इसमाए कृपा करे जे अपनी तो गुरु का शब्द कमाए. So when Guru Sahib said कि हमें रोग मानो को दीना, we've been planted with this robe when we've been born on this earth. ये शरीर माया का पुतला विच हमें दुष्टि पाई. So ये शरीर दे विच how the man is the combination of the mind and the body. So when we say Trigun is we are body conscious, mind conscious, and intellect conscious. And the Guru Sahib said, Man re Trigun chod chauthe chitla. When we go to the fourth dimension, chautha means the creator. We as long as we are living with the body conscious, mind conscious, and intellect conscious. And when we switch on to the creator conscious, this is home Tirag Roga Daru bhi ismae. So then we understand what is the Daru. Daru is basically how man is, one is a self-centered, is a rogue, and when you go to the self-realization, it becomes the Daru. So क्योंकि self realization is very very important in a गुरबानी कि मैं कौन हाँ, तो जिਵੇਂ कहना आप पछाने कार वसे हमें तृष्णा जाए, as everybody said the trishna is Hameda is a part of that, because if we don't have the Hame, trishna does not exist. So Hame, when we say a man and the desire, this is the derivation force, everything happens because of that. But as long we are self-centered, it becomes a rope. When we become self-realization, it comes to the point we start thinking, who is my creator? So गुरु साहब के ये शरीर माया का पुतला विच हमें दुष्टि पाई, सो गुरु साहब अगर के अंदर मान रहे हमें दुख पारी, हमें भी सब कार कमावे, हमें मैला जग फेरे मर जमे वारो वार, हमें विच सब जले शरीरा, हमें भी सेवा ना थाए पाए. The one very important Gurbani ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਕ ਹੈ ਉਹ, if we realize that and work out on that, ਤਨ ਪਿਰ ਕਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੀ ਸੰਗ ਵਾਸਾ, ਤਨ ਪਿਰ ਕਾ, the body and the mind का एक ही संग वासा which हमें पीत करारी. The body and the soul exist within us, but मैं, which is the mind conscious, has become the barrier to connect the soul and the body. So पई प्राप्त मानुक ते होरिया गोबिंद मिलन की तेरी बरिया. गोबिंद मिलन दा भाव है कि we have to realize the कर्ता जड़ा अंदर पूरे आया is within us, and we have to realize through the Gurbani, through the Shabad, through the Guru intellect. So basically हमें एहो हुक्म है पाइए किरत फराए. Everybody is in a त्रै गुण ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਸਾਰਾ ਵਿਚਰ ਰਿਹਾ, ਉਹ ਹਉਮੈ ਦਾ is one of the factors. If we don't have a haume, then we become oneness with the creator. So haume eho hukam hai. This is part of the hukam. The God has created a haume when we come into this world. Haume ya haume andar kaya andar haume mera. Kaya means sharir andar haume mera. Janam maran na chuke fera. As long as we are the body conscious or the mind conscious, we keep on coming in the cycle. So जिन रच रचिया पुरख बिदाते नाले हौमे पाई, जिसने शरीर ਨੂੰ रचिया इस लिया के संसार पैदा किया, पुरख बिदाते ने नाले हौमे पाई. So we have been installed with this effect of how and man is being connected. So हमें रोग मानुक को देना. Because of this rogue, we've been existing. We have the evolution of thought process.
Right.
And we can keep further going, but it's a long way. There's so many Shabad. But this is the size of that.
Gabri ji has introduced a very, very well-researched concept. I will just summarize it in one word. His analysis is from Gurbani, and he is quoting extensively that home is a combination of two words, ho and man. To simplify, ho is attachment to body and ma is attachment to mind. Now, if the mind and body are concentrated on each other, they have lost the game, then it is a rope. But if the mind has been moved to go and concentrate in Turiya Avastha, which is the creator, Jada Karta hai, which is Purya and everything, so the mind has been lifted from body consciousness to not mind consciousness, not to intellect consciousness, but to Turiya Avastha. That is, तमोगुण सतोगुण ते रजोगुण तो उठ के तुरिया अवस्था विच मन अगर चला गया, ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਇਹਦਾ ਇਲਾਜ ਹੈਗਾ. ਜਿੰਨੀ ਦੇਰ ਤੱਕ mind and body are intertwined with each other, dependent on each other, conscious of each other, that is that until that time there is problem. Once it's beyond into the Turiya Avastha, it has cracked the riddle and it has gone. It is no more now a rope, a daru ban. Gabri ji, have I summarized it correct for you?
Perfectly. Okay. But it's a very wide subject. We need a lot of time. Everybody said so very well. If we combine all that, I think we can understand what haume is, what hukam is, Hukam is also very wide subject. Hukam na kya aa jaye.
Right.
There is no way
Gavriji,
man can define a hukam.
we'll
So,
come back to that,
yeah,
Gavriji. But let me go on the second round, summing up Home as you have mentioned and others have mentioned. So, Ravel Singh ji, would you like to share some thoughts after having gone through the first round on Home? We are sticking on to Home so far.
हाँ जी,
Ravel Singh ji.
मैं एक बेनती करा कि दिस होमे दीर्घ रोग है. It doesn't mean that home is a strong or anything. दीर्घ का मतलब होता है लंबा. So it means it's a chronic malady. It's a chronic disease that the soul gets. And in fact, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੂਜੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਾ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਹੋਮੇ के दीर्घ रोग है दारू भी इसमाए कृपा करे जी आपनी ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰ ਕਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸਮਾਏ ਨਾਨਕ ਕੇ ਸੁਣੋ ਚਲੋ ਇਸ ਸੰਤਮ ਸੋਚਾਏ. तो ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲਾਈਨ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਇਹ ਕਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਹੋਮੇ ਇਹ ਆਜ਼ਾਦ ਹੈ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਕਰ ਕਮਾਏ. ਹੋਮੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਅੱਜ ਪੈਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ. ਹੋਮੇ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਕੰਟੀਨਿਊਇੰਗ disease, is a continuing malady which the soul has, and it comes from birth to birth. It is in fact the best example of karma because when we talk of home, it covers everything, because everything we do is because of home. ਦੂਜੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹੋਮੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ it's all along in ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ it is ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਮੇ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਵਕਤ ਤੱਕ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਰੱਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ. until then the mind cannot find the almighty within. तो ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਤੋਂ ਕਿ ਹੋਮੇ ਨਾਮੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਹੈ ਤੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਸੇ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਹੈ. that ਜਿਸ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਮੇ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਦਾ ਵਾਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ. ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਦਾ ਵਾਸਾ ਹੈ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੱਭ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ because we are blinded by these things. So ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੋਮੇ ਹੈ it is very right. It in fact ਹੋਮੇ can be linked to Maya, ਹੋਮੇ can be linked to everything. ਕਿ ਬਈ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ that is how I think one should look at it.
Ravel Singh ji, you have researched Gurbani and you have your own big blog. Is Home and Hankar same?
ਹੰਕਾਰ ਹੋਮੇ ਤੋਂ ਪੈਦਾ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹੋਮੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੰਕਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਇਹ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਜਾਣਦਾ, I know what is right, I know this is my wisdom, I have got this, मैं I will, for example मेरे को बहुत पैसा आ गया, now I'll do what I like. That is the pride of money. I'm now very wise, I'm not going to listen to anybody, मैं जो कुछ कर रहा है वही ठीक कर रहा है. I am most powerful, I will do the way things I like, I will give orders, I will get my will enforced. So ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ part ਹੈਗਾ ਵੇ that is ਜਿਹੜਾ ਘਮੰਡ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਡ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਭਿਮਾਨ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਅਹੰਕਾਰ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. From that then Home develops to say that yes, I will do everything myself, and that's all. So in fact quite often Gurbani dekhte hage hain, so we are able to say that there is really only a fine dividing line between Ahankar and Home, because the Home comes from Ahankar.
So, IJ Singh ji, just taking the discussion further, would we say that Hankar is pride and Home is ego, or the new word that you have introduced, as ego, as Home as narcissist behavior or narcissist thinking? IJ Singh ji, what would you like to say about this?
As a total non-expert, let me offer you a couple of things. One, of course, is to separate the mind and body. To me, is not realistic. These are not two separate things that exist one without the other. No, they function together. What we see is an integrated whole, and that's how they function. Now, What's haumai? A product of your mind and body connection, if you wish. But everything else, kam, krodh, lo, moh, hankar, the pride of some things also comes from your mind. Comes from the sense of I, me and mine. So they all stem from haumai. That is why it's called the dirgham. And that's why, but that is why the cure is also within it. The cure is within it because there is some sense of self we got to have. Some sense of self makes you human. Some sense of self makes you what you are. An image of God you can be. So some sense of self is necessary. But to have those things integrated and working in unison, that is the emphasis here. So let's not look for, my feeling would be, let's not look for separating the mind-body connection. Let's look at integrating the two. And perhaps keep the line of Gurbani in mind which says, Aap gawai seva kare ta kich paye maan. In other words, look for a cause bigger than the self. Look for something bigger than the self in which you can become a part. And that is where you discover divinity. That's how I look at it.
All right. This is IJ Singh Ji's view. IJ Singh Ji, would you have a few more Gurbani quotations which you would like to mention and find out or help us find what is that medicine which will tell us, or what is that touchstone which will tell us that this is the dividing line?
Well,
Until now was haumai, and
I'm
now
not
it has become the medicine.
well, I'm not a scholar of Gurbani. I think one man that I know in this group is Brigadier Ravel Singh, and he can spout Gurbani far faster than I can't. So I
Oh,
look at individual lines and I depend on them. But you know, I'm reminded of one line ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੋਜ਼ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਆ ਆਸਾ ਦੀ ਵਾਰ ਚ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਜਗ ਸੱਚੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕੋਠੜੀ.
mhm.
So see, we have a bit of the divine. या अपना मूल पछाण, हाँ, मणतुर ज्योत स्वरूप है. Those things tell you that there is the divinity within us as well. And that is what we
I
got to get in touch with.
I agree with you. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਅਸਜ ਦੀ ਵਾਰ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, and that really says the same thing as the word karta in Mool Mantar. Fine. Let's continue our journey in understanding. We are getting different perspectives from different experts on the panel. Let's go over to Gurdeep Singh Ji. And Gurdeep Singh Ji, in this round, would you like to share a few more thoughts or reflections on what has been discussed so far, or add something new? Gurdeep Singh Ji from Amritsar.
I agree with the speakers who were telling that haumai is I, me, and my, a combination. And Gurbani says, in fact, by Gurdas War 15, I am not remembering the exact line, but it says all even actions are impelled by haumai. So haumai is the source. So to my mind, ahankar is also takes birth from haumai itself. It's not the ahankar which generates haumai, it's haumai which generates haumai. Somebody told it is maya. That is correct. That the entire maya, that is that constitutes of these things only, काम क्रोध लोभ मोह अहंकार, that maya da swarup bhi yahi hai. So even Dr. Jaswant Singh Neki, who has been writing very good articles in about based on Gurbani, and he defines haumai as alienation from the divine absolute in few words. That means when we get alienated from the divine absolute, then we live in haumai. That is the characteristic of haumai. So once in that delusion, everything, all evils are generated. So that is what is
Agree.
the हौमे सब शरीर है, हौमे ओपत होए, हौमे वडा गुबार है, हौमे विच बुझ ना सके कोई. uh, uh, Under the action of home, all these delusions that are generated, that duality itself is also generated in home. So that's what I feel. हो पीत पयो है बीचो सुनत देश निकटायो पांबीरी के पात पर्दो बिन पेखे दुरायो. So home has been told as a just a curtain or a veil. It's once we are crossing this veil, that means we combine our identity with that of the supreme, ultimate supreme. Then we are out of home. And once we are deluded from him, we are in home. That is, in short, home is.
All right. Thank you,
Can I make a
Singh.
very, very brief, short comment? One sentence worth.
Sure, Ajay Singh ji, please be brief because we have yet to cover others.
Yeah, I will. You see, it was the sense of self that things come from. In the sense of self, when disciplined and controlled, puts you in touch with divinity, मन तू जोत स्वरूप है, वाली गल हो जाती है. A sense of self run amok is haumai, which is I, me, and myself. And that haumai then will give rise to, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. When it is run amok, it can take that form of Kam or Krodh or Lobh or Moh or Ahankar. That's it. Thank you.
So I would like to add this Dr. Jaswant Singh Neki's interpretation about what he has said, that I generates this hankar. Expansion of my is attachment, that is moh, and expansion of me and mine, that is greed. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So this is what is the I, me, and my expansion.
Sure. Thanks for sharing that. I would like to go over to Charan Singh ji from Ontario, Canada now.
I will again revert back to my thesis, on which I think most of the speakers have probably not taken that serious consideration. The point is to understand how I have originated, how that me has originated, how the belongingness of mine has originated. And to me, it is, I would say, to my evolving understanding, it is all language based. The moment I learn a language, I am able to identify, I am able to manifest as a mind, and that mind has everything. It's all language based by which I experience. It is all language based by which I am tagged as a language driven identity. And of course, at the back of that language driven identity is my primary identity, a true mind, which is separated when the moment the language comes. However, Gurbani is a link that gives us an integration between the mind manifested and the mind as a Jyot Swarup. I agree with Ajay Singh ji that we need to consider this as a integrated, not as a separated, as me as a separate, and it's all awareness. It's all one composite awareness. The moment we expand on that awareness, we learn a language as a tool, we define ourselves, and the process goes on. To converge back to our origin, to converge back to our Jyot Swarup, all we need to do is connect with the right tool, that is Gurbani, and we can revert back to that Mool Swarup. That's precisely I want to say. Language driven understanding of home brings, to me, it brings better clarity and more logical and reasonable understanding into the Jyot Swarup and the expanded or the manifested language-driven identity, which is home. Thank you.
Can we now go to Dilpreet Singh ji?
Hanji Veer ji, see, I would like to reiterate what I said was because I get sometimes lost when we say this home is ego, we should not have ego. And on the other side, when we say it is Kam, Krodh, and other things, again I get lost because Guruji has made us Sant and Sipahi. We cannot be a Sipahi, we cannot protect others. Je sade vich Krodh muk jave. Guruji has not asked us to go and leave the family, so sada grist jeevan hega. So Kam is also a part of that. So again, when I say it is both mass, when all of this exists, under haumai it is bad. What means is that we are separated and we don't have the understanding of hukam and creator, then it is bad. But when it is under that understanding, then it is right.
That's right.
Again, I would like to take it to the today's preachers, right? It is being preached that way, and in the gurdwaras that you don't hold to these things, but the preachers take all the money, they enjoy all the luxury, they are not practicing what they are saying. So again, it goes back, it is being preached for their benefit. And in Gurbani also, Guruji is saying, हमें बुझे ता दर सूझे ज्ञान विहोना कथ कथ लुझे. So ये बुझन वाली गल है, it is something to understand. And then, because we cannot live and exist without these things, without Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, there is no existence of a Sikh philosophy or the Sikh which Guruji painted as a Sikh, because we cannot fight. Otherwise, if I don't have money, then I cannot be paropkari. I have to earn and then help others. So I think what is being preached, it is for the benefit of some individuals and it is being misled.
How do I say on it?
Dilpreet Singh ji, I am in total agreement with you. It's not only that the preachers are saying that they want all the luxuries and they want all the money. Right in the middle of Guru Granth Sahib, there is a Shabad, and we read it in Aarti, where one of the Bhagat is saying, I want good nourishing food, I want a good wife, I want a good place to live, I want a good horse to ride. So there is something which is missing in our understanding. This is what I think in this term called haumai. Now, if one has to go and say that God resides in this creation, and here we have a panel expert sitting with us, Mr. I.J. Singh, who says don't make a distinction between mind and body, but think of it as a combined unity, then these things are necessary. You need to have something to cover your body, you need something for good nourishing food, you good place to stay. So therefore, I think we need to prod further and deeper into this concept of haumai. Now, Dilpreet Singh ji has added and brought in a new thought, and I think it's an important thought before we go further. And that thought is to lead a good grast life. Don't we need enough money? Don't we need good food? Don't we need a spouse? Therefore, just saying that all these five are bad, what is bad? Is we have to, is greed bad? What is greed? When does it become greed and until when it is need? I think that distinction needs to be made. But right now, I don't want to get distracted in that. I would like to continue and go to Gabriji again for the word haumai, and if the organizers permit, next week we can again go deeper into these concepts. I think these are important concepts which will help us understand Gurbani better, but depends on the organizers and the panelists here. Right now, I want to concentrate, not get distracted, want to concentrate on the word haumai. And Gabriji, would you like to share some more thoughts on haumai?
I think it's already been said. The best is to haumai kitho upje ke sanja mein jaye. I think everybody said very well. As long as we are self-centered, everything is a road. When we come to the self-realization, then we really see is the karta, is I'm not the doer. There is somebody else is the doer. As long I'm the doer, I'm subject to the judgment. So Guru Sahib very well said, aap pachane. आप पहचाने कार वसे, haume trishna jaye. Within the trishna comes everything, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, Asha, Mansha, Trishna, Dvesh, everything comes into that. But as long as you said, there is a fine line between a need and the greed. So everything has got a fine line. If we go into the detail, so Guru Sahib said, "Aap achane karva se haume trishna jaye." Trishna, because Trishna has become so powerful because of we are connected with the mind and the body. It's not the question of separation. When we sleep, our mind becomes separated from the body. But when we leave the body on this earth, our mind still exists. So we have to keep that concept also in mind. So आप पछाने कारव से हमें तृष्णा जाए, नानक निर्मल उजले जो राते हर नाए. So when we embedded into the norm, the vadiyai, Paramatma, the gun, then we really know that where do I, me and my exist. We actually, that part does not exist. It's all the doer who is doing it. But as long we are living this world, we got to use these I, me, mind as a tool. So as long we are using them as a tool, we are fine. There's no problem at all. So this is the nutshell I could say about it. But there's a lot of big depth. If you want to continue for longer time, you can bring more Shabad and more concept on that.
I thank you, Gabriji, and I think we have 5 minutes, 4 minutes left. There's no point starting on a new word which is equally large and vast like hukam or in a word bujhe. But what I would request the organizers and the panelists, what would you think? Should we not spend another day on this word haumai? Because once these concepts are clear, these are the key concepts which Guru Nanak is introducing right in the beginning of his deep philosophy. In the first Pauri, he had brought in a new concept which was hukam. When he said, Kiv sachiara hoiye, kiv kude tutte pal, hukam rajai chalna, Nanak likhyana. And now at the end of the second Pauri, after speaking about Hukmi Homan Akar, Hukam na ke ajai, Hukmi Homan ji, all that, he has brought in a new concept where he says Nanak Hukme je bujai, ta homme kain. So I think these are concepts which need deeper deliberation, and I would urge the organizers if they can allot next week that we continue to delve deeper into this. Anybody on the panel has a view on this? Welcome. Otherwise, I am willing to hand over
Just
the
one
mic
thing,
back to.
Charsey ji, may I just suggest one thing?
Please,
We've been
Ramesh
talking
ji.
about, in fact, since I will not be there on Wednesday,
Yeah.
Gurbani says number of places, what is it that you are required to do? But at one place, Gurbani is absolutely specific. When it says कि चार पदार्थ ले जग आया, that is every human being has come with four potentials by which to live, and this is if he or she fulfills those, then he or she makes his or her life successful. And those four are dharam, arth, kam, and mokh. Briefly saying, dharam is we do our duties, whether it is to our religion, whether it is to our family, whether it is to the job, whether it is to the society, whether it is the nation. So this is the dharam. That is the dutifulness. What I am required to do, I should be able to do what is right, not what is forced on me. So that is dharam. Arth is economic well-being. That is, we should be able to. Every human being cannot live by air. You need food, you need clothing, you have the family. You got to look after the family. You as an individual, with a person with a discerning mind and with an intellect, God-given intellect, you are required to you are supposed to contribute to development of the total society in every way. And then the calm is every individual has aspirations, has desires, these are also required to be fulfilled, because we are not inanimate beings, we are animate beings. Therefore, this third thing is the calm, that is the kamana, the desires and aspirations. These have to be fulfilled. But while we do this, one has to, what has to be remembered is that first thing is that all these four things we may not realize, but we will do it when we go to the Guru, when we read the Gurbani, and that is Guru Sahib say कि सदगुरु के बस चार पदार्थ, तीन समाए चार कितार्थ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਤਿੰਨ ਹੈਗੇ, we are doing these, but while doing these duties, while performing the roles of ours in life, which are very, very important, we have also to see that we don't get engrossed and entangled with them so much that we forget that we have to leave this body and this world, and therefore we should be able to achieve emancipation from coming back to it again. We do these jobs well, so that, but at the same time don't get attached to them. In Gurbani, there are a number of talks which come. In fact, there's a Shabad which says that if you do this, you'll get this janam in the next this life form. All that means is that whatever you get used to doing here, you will be doing in the next birth also. So if you, so Gurbani says that you have to get rid of this cycle of births and deaths, and that is the emancipation, that is Mukat. So Dharam, Arth, Kam, Mokh. These are the four things that Akal Purkh, the Almighty, has given us, every human being, to do, and this is what what hukamai is for us.
Right. It's already 1 hour past, and I think we should close our discussion today. As you have noticed, we have just focused on one single word in this last line, Nanak hukme je bujata haumai keh na koe. Everybody has just been able to cover 2 rounds, and we are still not properly on top of this word, what haumai is. With this brief summary, we are still exploring, trying to go deeper into what this word haumai means. I hand over the mic back to Harvinder Singh.
Thank you, Ji. I think it is a good idea to continue in the following discussions, and I know it is difficult for everyone to attend prepared 2 times a week, and we are discussing offline. If we want to make this discussion once a week so that everyone can participate and prepare well for the discussion. Now going back to discussion, I think we started a new blog today on this topic. I think Charan Singh Ji from Toronto started the new blog. I would request Charan Singh Ji from Bangalore, if you can post your summary of today's discussion in the same blog, and then everyone in the panel can contribute to the blog. If for some reason they can't attend on Wednesday because of time reasons, until we decide on the day we want to do this weekly discussion. And I will thanks everyone for joining today and have such a great discussion. So I think we can close now, unless someone have any. Charan Singh Ji, you want to close something?
I would say that,
I will speak for half a minute.
Sure.
And my submission is that we have covered enough as far as the definition and Swaroop jo haumai da, but from where it originates and how we should get rid of it, like haumai tirag roog hai, daru is my. These aspects should be covered more in the next discussions.
Thank you, Ji. Charan Singh Ji.
sure. I'm with you. To my mind, these are very, very important issues. People spend lifetimes trying to understand what haumai is, what are its derivatives, what is its cure. At least Guru has guided us that in this very haumai there is a cure, so we don't have to go far. I think it's a good direction Gurdeep Singh Ji has suggested, but I'd like to go to the next panel. We do not know who are going to be the next panel and what their views are. Maybe they'll bring in something new which all of us will learn on Wednesday, Thursday that the panel comes. So I leave it open to them, and I would urge now let's close for the day, and then whenever we are meeting next, we can all contribute then.
Okay, I think thank you very much, Ji. Then Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.
Khalsa,
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।